very interesting. This is why we need to cover information from multiple sources. And yeah, this is the SITREP, or the situation report for the 586 to the 587 for the 2nd to the 3rd of October. So some conclusions. The Ukrainian forces probably saw my last SITREP and they got very pissed, and they started to do more offensive action, because I say that their offensive is over. It's over. The Russians are taking over the initiative. And from the latest report, we can see that the Ukrainians are actually doing a lot more. And particularly over at the Orikhiv sector, suddenly they are fanning out in multiple directions. Particularly, there was this serious report from Myroshnikov, the pro-Ukrainian source, talking about the entry into Novo-Prokopivka. So, yeah, there is multiple universe when you're actually looking at Ukraine War's information. So, depending on who you're listening from or reading the information from, it can vary tremendously. So it's interesting how Myroshnikov it talks about how there seems to be some kind of rumors about the village getting captured, Novo-Prokopivka getting captured by the Ukrainian forces, and he made an emphasis that Novo-Prokopivka is not captured. This emphasis shows that there are informations that are out there that I did not see, that is talking about Novo-Prokopivka has been having captured by the Ukrainian forces. And this is very far away from any of the trusted information that I follow, the trusted sources that I follow. No one's talked about Novo-Prokopivka getting under threat of capture by Ukrainian forces. So very bizarre. The Ukrainian forces definitely still is not giving up at Verbove. They are still pushing. Russians are also pushing back. So there is basically a stalemate over here. We does see some Ukrainians push in the northwestern part of Verbove, so that's interesting. But if you look at the number of tree lines that they need to overcome, yeah, this is a very, very sad progress, the way to go, and basically you go nowhere. As you can see, if you continue to push in this direction, and you just reach more Russian defenses, and then you go into another pocket where you really don't want to be in. So because once you go in, you can't even go up, you can't even go down, you cannot go there, you cannot go this way, you can only go backwards. So that's actually quite sad, if they actually get into this area here. But Ukrainian forces are operating a bit like water. They flow wherever is the easiest to flow, seemingly. Despite they pick the most difficult part to actually attack into, and but once they are in, they are kind of stuck into flowing wherever the less resistance are, and this is actually very bad, because you can get caught into some kill zones that you really don't want to be in. Velika Novosibirsk sector is very weird. We have all these reports of Russians attacking in a very sporadic way, all very tactical, it's not an offensive kind of thing. So, and the fighting around Prione is particularly weird. I'm not sure what's the objective over here. Maybe Ukraine really wants Prione, because it is very strategically important. If you Ukrainians have this position, they can actually line up the defense line all the way to Staromayoske, and this will give them a very good defense line against the Russians, all the way to Zavene Bazania, all the way to Stepove. But yeah, the Ukrainians still struggles to capture Prione after a long time. Marinka, nothing much to talk about. Adiyevka, the Ukrainians are making a lot of pushes. Nevelske, Opitne, they are pushing north of Vodian. There's most probable push from at Krasnohorivka. The Russians are seemingly pushing back a little bit, but pretty much it's not going to go anywhere. The Adiyevka front is just too heavily defended. It's just too difficult to make some kind of frontline changes in this area here. And Ukrainians continue their major offensive in the south of Bakhmut. Klishevka region, Andrievka, Kodyomivka, as usual. But these journalists appearing, the Russian journalists appearing over at this position, is particularly, illuminating that the Ukrainians actually have not reached this eastern part of Klishchiivka. So which means the Ukrainians are still trapped at these three lines here. They are still trapped in this area here, and they are unable to break into the tree line that is probably now still under firm Russian control. And this is looking like a banana. And yeah, so but if the banana got so many holes, don't eat it. Maybe got worms. And so the Ukrainians are also pushing in the north. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's just all going to be very, very difficult for the Ukrainians. There's no news around the north. It is a cat. This starting to look like a cat. Meow. No. Okay, it's starting to look like a pig. Oh, and anyway, this area here continues to have no reports. Very weird. After all these rumors about the capture, we shall continue to monitor and see how this goes. The rest of the front line, the Ukrainians are still continue to make tremendous push. And the most significant news I saw was the presence of Azov battalion within this front line. They were sent into this front line, and let's see whether they make a difference or not. And yeah, otherwise there's nothing much. We only saw sporadic Russians attack at Sinkivka, Khyslivka, Novoyehorivka, and Mykievka. And yeah, I think these are all just raiding attacks. Can ignore, nothing very significant. So this is the conclusion. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. If you want to watch the full SITREP, on a daily to 2 daily basis, do consider becoming a YouTube member or Patreon member, coffee, locals, whatever. Check the description below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.